I know you've got the Buffalo Bills headboard behind you. How did you celebrate their playoff victory, and how did you mourn their loss?
I was just excited they got really far. I don't know, can I just say I ate like a chicken wing or something?
Welcome to another episode of Perspectives. My name is Kevin Gebel, the senior content writer at ChefWorks, and we are thrilled to be joined today by Chef Allison Fasano. She has been on multiple cooking competitions. She's won quite a few also. She's done some amazing work for her community in New York. And as you can see, she's in her car because she is always on the go. Chef Allison, thank you so much for joining us on Perspectives. How are things going in New York right now?
Right now, I'm in Long Island, but I know the New York City is slowly starting to open up, especially in, the restaurant world. We were just allowed to have indoor dining in the city on 2 days before Valentine's Day. So I think we're slowly getting up and running here as far as the food scene goes.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because back about a year ago when everything shut down, you were right in the middle of ground zero. I mean, you were feeding first responders. You and Chef Ron Grill got together and teamed up.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because at that time, COVID really hadn't hit the rest of the country, but you really were putting yourself in harm's way to do all that.
So I was very lucky to keep my apron on this whole time and work. And I've worked more than I ever did. I think that food brings people together, and now more than ever, it's like the one thing we needed the most. And when we were asked to feed the COVID-19 testing sites, me and my longtime buddy, John Brill, said, yeah, of course we love working together, and we were able to get out of the house, but also we were able to give back. And we worked 7 days, and we did breakfast, lunch, and dinner for many different COVID sites. So it was somewhere around 4,600 plated meals a week. So I think if you know what plated meals means, it means like there's a lot of clicks to the plates. And there was maybe a team of 6 of us. And I think I've learned how hard I could actually push my body physically and mentally. But I knew those, first responders were they had a lot harder job than I did. I think when you enjoy a meal for those couple of minutes, reflect and relax. So I think that's one of what made us keep on going. And we knew that, that they needed just like kind of a meal to take a break. And, we were able to do that for them.
Now, one of the things I didn't bring up in the introduction was you used to be Bobby Flay's sous chef. I feel like that's something that gets said about you every single time someone talks about Allison Fasano. How important was it for you to break away from that, be your own independent person? You have been on Chopped, you have been on Beat Bobby Flay, you just recently won Supermarket Stakeout. You are your own chef. You don't necessarily need to trade on anyone's name. How important was it for you to sort of break away from that?
I think for me, it was important, yes, but I'm also one of those people, I never forget where I come from. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like my Brooklyn accent. No matter where I go, it stays with me type of thing. Like I can't hide from it, But, it was an honor to be Bobby Flay's sous chef and to work for him for 3 years, because I learned so much. And he knows, I remember when Bobby Flay first learned my name, I was like, does he really know my name? Type of thing. But I think we get to the point where, we do like to create and be our own kind of, if you want to say, make our own history, I guess you could say, or, start to build up on that. But it's always an honor when people mention it. I loved talking about it. I loved working for him. I loved him, watching him growing up on TV. I think we all have such a huge respect for him. So it's definitely an honor, but it's a lot to kind of come into your own, if you will.
Now, you mentioned watching him on TV growing up. You are one of the first generations of chefs to really grow up on Food Network as it was just taking off. You and I have had lots of conversations about how you watched Rachel Ray when you were 11 years old. Did you ever imagine yourself, though, that you would be on all of these cooking competitions and that you would be a competitive TV chef?
You know, I've always had those dreams of being on the Food Network because I think I was just so inspired. Like, I remember watching the Food Network, and that's where I decided that I wanted to cook, that I wanted to be a chef. So it was never about winning or losing or shows. It was just an honor being there. And I used to watch the Food Network a lot with my dad, and he used to say, you know, someday this will be you that I'm watching on TV. And you know, he believed in me so much. And I used to we always have those little thoughts in the back of our minds, like that's probably never going to happen because it is such a big dream to chase. And it sounds like something that maybe you'll never reach. And to reach there not only but once, but definitely, you know, a couple other times. My father did pass away 3 years ago, and he would always, he taught me to kind of say yes to opportunities. And he would say, you know, if you don't put yourself out there, no one will know you exist. So I didn't know what that meant to after he passed away. It was just to say yes to opportunities and not to be afraid to fail and, you know, definitely put myself out there. And I think anything that you dream is kind of in reach.
When you look back at 2018, 2019, the Me Too era, there were so many important issues raised about women in culinary. I feel like some of those took a back seat with everything that happened in 2020. How important is it to bring those issues front and center again?
I actually think that the conversations are still continuing, even though, you know, you're not reading it on the front cover of a newspaper or on a magazine, or maybe there's not a post about it. I think it's something that, you know, we still continue to talk about. You know, it doesn't need to be, you know, something that you're reading online. It could be me having a conversation with a server or a hostess, another female chef that you aren't seeing, you know, on social media. So I think this is a conversation that will always continue. And I think, especially in 2018 and 2019, when I heard all these other women speak up, mostly in the culinary field, I remember looking back on my career and going, oh, so that wasn't okay. Oh, yes, that happened to me too. I got paid $5 less than my male counterpart and I had more experience. Oh, that wasn't okay. So now I think all these things that were brought into light made me say, oh, that shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't have been treated like that. I shouldn't have ever felt that way. So I know from these women speaking forward that it's a conversation that I bring to light, you know, talking to, you know, other chefs and, you know, especially young women in this career, to let them know that we won't ever run a kitchen that way, you know, that you could inspire people, you know, in your day-to-day life. So I think it's a conversation that we still continue and we still talk about.
In a perfect world, what do the next 5 years look like for women in culinary?
I hope women in culinary, you know, definitely hear our stories that we're telling and that we continue to tell, especially every year more women apply to culinary schools over men, that they, you know, I know they're passionate, I know they have big dreams, but a lot of times they're not given a opportunity or a platform. And I actually think we made that path pretty clear for them. And, you know, I think we will see more women as executive chefs or as restaurant owners or, you know, winning James Beard Awards because, you know, last year, you know, you had Kelly Fields and Missy Robbins and, you know, so many other female chefs get that covenant title of a James Beard winner. I think it's so inspiring to see that, you know, we're still making waves and we're, you know, I think that title of female chef is set so high that men wish they had the title. I think now more than ever, us women actually are so proud to embrace and to have that title.
Well, now let's switch to a little something called rapid fire. I'm going to ask you some questions, and the first thing that pops into your head, you give me the answer. All right?
Yep.
All right. Which New York borough has the best food?
Oh, definitely Brooklyn, Williamsburg to be exact.
Perfect. Mets or Yankees?
Mets, of course.
Is there any acceptable topping for a New York cheesecake?
So here's the thing, is I'm actually lactose, and one thing that I've never liked is cheesecake. Because, I don't know, I'm more of a fan of Italian cheesecake, but if I have to tell you the truth, I'm a purist, and I like to taste things in its natural form, so I would say don't put anything on it. Just try it as is.
Perfect. Best movie featuring a chef as a main character?
Oh man, I was about to say Titanic just now, but then you said with a chef. My favorite movie actually is Titanic, who you do want to know. I cry every time when the movie starts, I start crying. I also have a Celine Dion tattoo that says my heart will go on.
I did know that you have what you called Celine Dionathons in your kitchen. So then that leads us to another question. You have an opportunity to hang out with either Rachel Ray or Celine Dion for one day.
Well, I've hung out with Rachel Ray before, so I really have to go with Celine Dion.
Fair enough. And I always like to end these interviews with, what is your best culinary memory?
I would have to say it's any time that I hang out with Chef Elizabeth Faulkner, and I do like the Pebble Beach Food and Wine.
Sure.
And I remember like we would like sometimes if I'm with Elizabeth, we'll go out to dinner, and I look at the dinner table, and like it's like Amanda Cohen, Kelly Fields, like all these chefs. And I remember thinking, I shouldn't be here right now, you know? And it's like that aha moment. I feel like I made it to the cool kids table. So that's definitely one of my favorite moments, is like when I hang out with people that I've looked up to, or, you know, who inspire me.
Chef, you totally belong at the cool kids table. Trust me.
I try every day.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Perspectives, and also just everything you did for New York last year. Please keep staying safe, and we will catch up again with you soon.
And stop hanging out in my car.
My thanks again to Chef Allison Fasano for joining us on Perspectives. Now, if you like what you saw, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also read more about Chef Allison at blog.chefworks.com. If you visit there, then you can see all kinds of fun stories about the culinary and hospitality industry. So again, thank you for joining us for Perspectives. Until next time, eat well, drink well, and be well.